Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome back to this series. In this video I'll be covering how to import Python models and, mostly important, how to use them.
This begins its penultimate journey to shore up the International Space Station. Atlantis now on the proper orbit.
Okay, starting our Python models. As usual, I have here some documentation that will help you. But before going there, let me tell you that this video is powerful. And why it is powerful? Because so far we have been covering the basics of Python, the baseline code. You can do whatever you want from what you learned so far, but the problem is, if you want to do more complex stuff, you will take a lot of time. So for that, there exists some other models, and models brings you some features to make our life easier. Models are extensions of Python that contain some features, some functions that are ready to use. And we frequently use a lot of them. So models are extensions of Python, contain some features and functions that are ready to use. So let's start by taking a look at our documentation. We'll go to this one, but I will show you the path when using the python.org. Okay. Here in the website we can see that we have a lot of information, but if you want to check the information about models, you can go to docs, and here you can go to models and it will give you the index. As you can see, there are a lot of models. So in this video I'll be covering only 2 or 3, and then feel free to explore what kind of models do we have and what kind of functions they do. The first one that we will use is the random one. Here, as you can see, it generates random numbers. With this model we can generate a lot of numbers that might be useful for us in some situations. But how can we import them and start using? It's simple. Let's take a look. Let's use the random model. And to use a model that is not available in Python, you need to import it. And to import it, all you need to do is write import and then the model name, random. And then press run. And it is already imported. And now let me show you how can we use them. For example, I want to generate a set of numbers between 0 and 1, and for that we can use random.random. So let's create some lists to append our numbers, because we'll do some interesting things with these lists. So let's create also a list to generate some random salaries, and let's say X, let's generate 10 salaries with X starting at 0 with a while loop. While X smaller than 10, let's generate 10. So, and to append some values to our random floats list, we'll be generating I equals to a random number between 0 and 1 that is a float. And to do that we have a function from random model that generates that kind of numbers. And to do it we only need to write random dot random parentheses, and it will generate a random number between 0 and 1, and we can check it. Random.random returns the next random floating point number in a range of 0 and 1. And next, we'll be using another to generate random salaries. Let's check, for example, rand range. So rand range returns a random selected element from range. And you can use several inputs here. And we will use only start and stop. Let me show you. So for this case, as I said, let's use random runs range, and let's use only start and stop between 75,000 and 120,000. Okay, and now let's append our values. Here we'll append I and R salaries append U. Okay, and now to our X increase from 0, we need to add the sum that you already know. And finally, let's print our functions. Random floats and our salaries, the random salaries. Okay, let's go. Here it is, 10 numbers between 0 and 1 and 10 random salaries. Okay, let me show you one thing. Let's round these float numbers. So let's give them only 2 decimals, so it can be smaller. Okay, here are our both lists. What can we do more? I will not cover extensively this model, but I can show you one more that is also useful, which is random and then sample. And now we are telling that we want a sample, a random sample. Let's say salaries, a random sample for our salaries. Oh, okay, one error, missing one required positional argument, k. What this is telling us is that it's missing one argument here inside the parentheses. And to use that, we write comma and then k. What is k? K is the number of samples that we want to retrieve. So for example, I want 5 samples, then press enter, and here are our 5 samples. Okay guys, let's go to another model. This one will be statistics. To import the model, you already know that we need to write import statistics. And one thing that I want to show you is that when we have a large name, we can use a smaller one. And to do that, we write as stats. So this is the name that we are giving to our model statistics. And what can we do with this? So we call the model stats dot, and we can use it to get the mean from our salaries. And this is our mean from our salaries. And we can also get another, such as stats median. Salaries, okay. Here is our median. Another model. Let's talk about math. The name is only math. Simple. For example, imagine that before knowing this or before seeing this video, you wanted to compute the factorial number of 5. Without this model, you will have to write a few pieces of code. And with this package, it is a lot more fast. So for example, I will also use this to show you an interesting piece of code. So number. It will be useful for this challenge. So we want an integer, or we will ensure that we'll get an integer, and then input. This is a built-in function, and then parentheses. And now we'll get a string to write a number. So write or any number to compute the factorial. Then now let's compute the factorial using the math model. Factorial equals to math dot. If you press tab, you'll see a lot of functions available by the model. This is another useful thing to use. Let's say if you don't remember a name that you want to use, you press tab and you look for it. In this case I want to use factorial, so it is here. I'll click and then parentheses, and we'll input this number, the output of this piece of code. So we are assigning this object to this variable. So let's use it. Okay, and then let's print our outcome. The factorial of, can use curly brackets, is curly brackets, and now we use dot format parentheses, and we want to the first curly brackets the number, and to the second curly brackets the factorial. Okay, now press run. What do we have here? It is asking us to use or to write an input, so I want the factorial of 5, and then press enter. Oh, the factorial of 5 is 120. Nice. If you run this again. Okay, that's it guys. So that's all from math. Another very useful model that I use frequently is one related with date. And this model, it's called datetime, and it has a function that works with date, which is called date. But this is the model, this is what I know that I want to use, and when you know what you want to use, it's useful to import that specific function or that specific package. And to do it, you say from datetime model import date. Easy, right? And by doing this, somehow you are saving space, you are using code in a more efficient way. And what this does, for example, I want to know the date from today, the day that my code is running, and to do it I can call this variable today equals to date, I call date dot today. I want to know the date today, and then let me write today, it will print. So 16th of February, the day I'm recording this video. Now I want to show you one interesting thing that we'll cover in the next video, but I will give you a glance. We'll create a mini program that will return the date when we'll have 100 years. To do that, we will use this model. Okay, so I will start by defining the program 100 years, parentheses, colon. Now tell me your name. I want to know the name. I will input first name. Okay, give me the first name, and then I want the age. Integer from input age. Now I want to know the year where we are today. So year equals to date dot today dot year, or it's not this, dot here. So I want to know the today's date, but from that I only want the year. Okay, let me show you. Oh well, so easy. And now let's say result equals to the year minus age plus 100, and finally print name, then you have or you'll be 100 years old in call brackets, and then we'll put here format result. Let's run our program. How can we do that? So basically program 100 years. We only need to call it. So first name, Rocking Data Science. Enter age 27. So I will be 100 years in 2094. Awesome. Okay guys, now let me show you another interesting things. So far we have been looking at Python models, but there is a huge community on Python that are constantly develop projects and libraries and models. And to check it, all you need to do is to go again to the Python documentation, and then you go to PyPy instead of docs, and here you have a lot of projects, as you see. A lot of projects, releases, files and users, almost 500,000 users. Back to our notebook. How do you install external package? So it is not enough if you never use it to write import something. You need to install it first. So just for example purpose, I never used it before, but I will show you what kind of package are here. Emojis. So let's use one of them. Let's use it. So basically when you are using external package, external model, you need to install it if you don't have it already. All you need to do is to write pip install and then the name of the library. Okay, so let's do it. Back to our notebook, pip install emoji, then press enter and it will be installed. I have an error, but it is because I need to upgrade my pip version. Now yes, after install it, we can import it, as you already know how to do it, and we can use it then, no problem. Print emoji emojize hello world. Okay, let's use it here. And now we need to use alias. This kind of information what you need to use to see this. It's in the documentation. True. Hello world. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and if you are not already subscribed, feel free to do it.